Whatever brings you the most love and peace is your religion. That should be your religion, because love is the only answer. Nobody really knows love because everyone is so afraid to follow their heart. If this is the way I find love, and if this is the way that I connect to God, then there is nothing wrong with that.
Faithful, 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 faithful.
This is an important video to me because ever since I started my spiritual journey, I struggled with figuring out what to call myself. What do I believe in? What's true? What is the truth? And it took me a while to figure out what the truth is for me, what religion meant to me, and what religion really is in the bigger picture, and how it's different from spirituality, and how I'm allowed to believe what I want to believe. And I don't have to call myself one thing. I don't have to know the truth at all. I can just know what feels good and feels right to me. I grew up in a strict Muslim household. It was forced onto me, really. I was forced to go to a Islamic boarding school as a 12-year-old girl when I really didn't want to. And I was there for 4 months begging to come back home. And I had to fight my way to have friends and just do normal girl things, you know? So I've had a pretty rough relationship with my religion and my family growing up. So once I got into spirituality, I started questioning my religion. I started questioning what is true. I started questioning, why is a thing that's supposed to be so miraculous and you know, the closest thing to God, makes me feel so hurt. And me questioning my religion brought a lot of guilt onto me, but at the same time, it was clear to me that the things that my religion teaches me to do to get closer to God, to bring that feeling of love and that feeling of being held and loved by God, I wasn't getting that feeling from the things that my religion taught me to do. I was starting to feel love and my heart open when I would sit in meditation, when I would do yoga, when I would journal, when I would try to manifest and envision my dream life. This is when I would feel the most love. This is when I could certainly admit to you that I know God is real. I have felt him. I have felt the love inside me. And I've never felt that way so strongly when it came to my religion. But don't get me wrong, I still call myself a Muslim. I call myself a spiritual Muslim because I do things and believe in things that you would put in the category of spirituality. Things like crystals and manifestation and visualization and meditation, and all these things are not really accepted by a religion like Islam. And it's funny because I feel like the concepts of spirituality is not different from the concepts of Islam. But because I feel like people in religion are so close-minded and so full of fear that they don't even want to correlate the two things because they think it's haram and they're gonna go to hell. But manifestation is just believing what you pray for and ask for, and the energy you put out is what you will receive. How is that different from putting your hands up and praying to God and praying to Allah and asking for what you want and believing that He hears you and will fulfill your wishes if you are a good person, if your intentions are pure and true? So that's why I call myself a spiritual Muslim, because I feel like that is what I'm doing when I'm manifesting. I am praying. It's my form of talking to God. It's my way of showing God, I believe in you and I know your power. So I'm putting all my faith and trust in you, and this is just all I'm asking for. And I let it go because I believe in God so much, and I know that He will bring to me what I need because my intentions are pure. I certainly believe there is a God, and I believe that there is one powerful being that we have given the name God. And I believe that whatever God has made has power too. The universe, the world, the planets, us, we all have that power, but there is one true being who has the most power, who has created us and put us here. And the beauties of spirituality, I feel like, is what God wants us to see and wants us to discover and explore. And I don't feel like God is going to send me to hell because I'm doing things a little differently, because I'm finding love a little differently. Because I believe that God knows what's in my heart. God can hear me. God is always around me. And I truly believe that a person who is dedicated to praying 5 times a day, going to the mosque, giving charity, can still have hatred and jealousy and anger and negative emotions filled in their heart. And I know that I much rather be a person of a light heart, a heart as light as a feather. If that gets me to my heart being as light as a feather, I'm going to take that route. And I know if God is wiser than me, more powerful than me, then he knows that a light heart is what we truly need to get closer to him. I can't get closer to God with fear in my heart. I have learned there are different ways to speak to God. And whatever way brings you the most peace and love in your heart is gonna bring you the closest to God. The speck of love that we feel through meditation is so tiny compared to what the amount, the vastness of love that God has for us. If we can do our best to fill our heart with the most love that we can, we are not even touching what God knows love really is. So I have come to terms and come to peace with straying away from what people have been telling me is right, because I have chosen to follow my heart. That is what I believe in. I have chosen to follow love and peace and the things that bring me a connection to God that is inseparable. There's no question or hesitation about that connection I have with him, because I found my way there and I did what I needed to do and sacrificed and went through deep questioning, dark times to understand that if this is the way I find love and if this is the way that I connect to God, then there is nothing wrong with that. And I know that I'm doing something right because I am not afraid of the consequences that people are trying to make me believe that I will have because I'm not doing it the way they're doing it. They're just afraid, and they're afraid of what will happen to me because they're afraid that it will happen to them. But I have nothing to be afraid of because my heart is light as a feather. And that is why I wear things like an ankh. The ankh truly believes that your heart is the only way to get granted heaven. They put your heart on a scale, and if it's not as light as the feather, if your heart weighs heavier, then you are not granted the beautiful heaven and infinite love, because you held hatred and jealousy and grudges in your heart. That's not a way to live life. If the goal of religion is truly to unite everybody and believe in one thing, then why are we all divided? Why do you believe this? And why do you believe that? And why do I believe this? And why do you see me as different from you? Don't you think that the God you're speaking about and the God I'm speaking about and the God you're speaking about is the same God? Because if the teaching of Abrahamic religions is that there is one God, then are we all believing different gods, or are we all speaking on the same thing but saying that you're wrong and I'm right? It's all a form of conflict. It's all a form of division. It's all a form of hatred and heaviness in the heart. Telling me and you that you don't belong with us because you don't believe and see things the way we do. You don't fear the way we fear. Oh my God. Like, I just feel like the world is so far from love, trying to preach love. Nobody really knows love because everyone is so afraid to follow their heart. Whatever brings you the most love and peace is your religion. That should be your religion, because love is the only answer. Love is the only thing that can bring you close to God. The only thing. So I will openly say that I'm a spiritual Muslim. Sometimes I feel so sad that I really let myself feel guilty for following my heart. And I made myself believe what other people were telling me was true, when I knew in my heart what was true and what I believed in. And I rejected my true self so many times, over and over again, because I was afraid. I was afraid. I was afraid of following my heart. I was afraid of stepping out the box and doing what maybe felt a little bit uncomfortable at first, but really I knew was the most comfortable I'll ever feel, because I am embracing myself. I'm being who I really am. And I have been lucky to find people who accept me for me. And that makes the whole journey and fighting and resistance that I did feel worth it, because everything good comes with some challenges. Nothing is easy, especially the things that matter. And religion is something that matters to me. Faith is something that matters to me. What I believe in, when what I see is as the truth, is important to me. And I'm so happy that I have come to terms with what is true to me, and do it with my heart wide open. And I can't wait to break the cycle and teach my children simply how to love and how to have pure intentions and to be their true authentic self, and teach them how to accept me for who I am while I will accept them for who they are. It took me a couple years to get here and do a lot of inner work and ask myself the hard questions about what is the truth? Am I ready to make that move and step away from what I have been taught my whole life as right, and step away from that feeling of guilt and the pressuring of who is right and what to believe in, and if I do this I'm wrong, I can't wear a certain thing, I can't say a certain thing, I can't go a certain place, I can't be with a certain person, I can't love a certain man. I'm just tired of that. And I'm just ready to do what I feel makes me feel good and brings love into my life, and doing it unapologetically. I hope I inspire you guys to do the same. Thanks for listening. Peace.